All right, let's talk about a word that gets thrown around a lot in finance: leverage. It sounds complicated, maybe even a little intimidating, but I promise you it's simpler than you think. At its core, leverage is just using borrowed money to increase the potential return of an investment. Think of it like using a lever to lift a heavy rock. You couldn't lift it with your bare hands, but with the right tool, you can move something much larger than yourself. In money terms, that tool is borrowed capital. The heavy rock is a much larger investment than you'd afford with only your own cash. This separates saving money from actively building serious long-term wealth. The power of leverage is incredible in action. Imagine you have $20,000 saved up. You could put that into a safe investment and earn a few percent a year, slow climb, or use that $20,000 as a down payment to control a much larger asset, say a $100,000 property. That's leverage magnifying results. Let's get practical, because theory is useless without real-world application. The most common and relatable example of leverage that millions use is buying a home. When you get a mortgage, you're using leverage. Say you buy a house for $400,000 with a 20% down payment, that's $80,000 of your own money. The bank lends the other $320,000. You now control a $400,000 asset. If the market pushes your home to $450,000 in a few years, that's a $50,000 gain. Your $80,000 investment generated a $50,000 profit. That's a 62.5% return on your cash, thanks to the bank's money. Another classic example: starting a business. Most entrepreneurs don't have enough cash to fund everything. They use leverage. They might take an SBA loan to buy equipment. They might lease a retail space. They might purchase inventory. That loan helps build a business that can generate $50,000 of profit a year. So you understand what leverage is and you've seen the examples. How do you actually use it wisely? It's not about being reckless, it's about being strategic. The very first step, before you even think about borrowing a single dollar, is to build a rock-solid financial foundation. This means having a fully funded emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in cash. Step 2 is to get your personal credit in order. A high credit score is your ticket to getting the best interest rates on loans. Lower interest rates cut your borrowing costs and increase profit margin. The third step is to do your homework. Really do your homework. Buying a rental property, starting a business, considering another leveraged investment. For real estate, analyze neighborhoods, understand local market trends, and calculate cash flow, including taxes, insurance, maintenance, vacancies. For a business, create a detailed business plan with realistic financial projections. Finally, step 4, start small and have multiple exit strategies. Now for the serious talk. As powerful as leverage is for building wealth, it's a double-edged sword. It amplifies your gains, but it also amplifies your losses just as effectively. This is the part that many people ignore in their excitement, and it's where they get into trouble. Let's go back to that $100,000 property you bought with a $20,000 down payment. If the market turns and the property value drops by 5% to $95,000, you haven't just lost 5%, you've lost $5,000 of your original $20,000 investment. That's a 25% loss on your cash. The bank still needs its $80,000 back, so the entire loss comes directly out of your pocket. Another major risk is the cash flow crunch. When you use leverage, you have a debt payment that must be made every single month, no matter what. If you buy a rental property and your tenant stops paying rent or you have an unexpected vacancy, you are still on the hook for the mortgage payment, property taxes, and insurance. There's also the danger of interest rate risk. Many loans, especially in the business world, come with variable interest rates. This means the amount you owe each month can change. If interest rates rise significantly, your monthly payment could increase to a point where your investment is no longer profitable. Finally, over-leveraging is a classic mistake. So how does this all tie into building wealth that outlives you? Smartly using leverage is not just about making yourself rich. It's about creating a system that can build and sustain wealth for your family across generations. The assets you acquire using leverage, like a portfolio of rental properties, don't just disappear when you're gone. Imagine passing down a portfolio of 5 cash-flowing rental properties to your children, free and clear of any debt. That's not just an inheritance, it's a self-sustaining engine of income that can support them and their children for decades. Money can be spent, and inflation will slowly erode its value over time. Assets, on the other hand, tend to appreciate in value and can generate ongoing income. A real estate portfolio provides monthly cash flow from rent that can be used for living expenses or reinvested to buy even more properties. As the years go by, the rents will likely increase with inflation, and the property values themselves will continue to grow. You are not just giving your family a fish, you are giving them the entire fishing lake and the skills to manage it. Furthermore, the process of acquiring and managing these leveraged assets provides an invaluable financial education for the next generation. Building generational wealth is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It requires a mindset that focuses on the long term, often looking decades into the future. The beauty of using leverage to buy assets like real estate is that time becomes your greatest ally. With a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, you have a built-in plan for wealth creation. For 30 years, your tenants are effectively paying down your debt for you, month by month. While you are busy living your life, your net worth is automatically increasing as the loan balance shrinks. This slow, steady, and almost boring process is one of the most reliable ways to build a substantial fortune. Patience is the currency of the wise investor. You will face market cycles, tenant issues, unexpected repairs. There will be times when it feels like you're not making progress. This is where so many people fail. They lack the patience to see the plan through. They sell at the first sign of trouble. They get distracted by the next get-rich-quick scheme. But those who stick with their strategy, they continue to let their tenants pay down their mortgages. They let the market appreciate over the long run. They wake up 20 years later with a portfolio of paid-off properties and true financial freedom. It's about consistency, not intensity. Prudence is the guardian of your wealth. Just because you can get a loan doesn't always mean you should. So there you have it. Leverage is not some secret code reserved for the Wall Street elite. It's a practical tool that you can start learning to use today to fundamentally change your family's financial future. It's the difference between earning a 5% return on your own money and earning a 25% return by strategically using the bank's money. It's the power to control a $500,000 asset with just $100,000 of your own. When you grasp this concept and apply it with care, you unlock a level of wealth creation that is simply impossible through saving alone. It's about making your money work smarter, not just harder. The blueprint is clear and straightforward. Build your financial foundation with an emergency fund, a strong credit score. Educate yourself relentlessly on the asset class you want to enter: real estate. Business. Start small to minimize risk and learn the ropes. Always understand and respect the downside. Remember that leverage amplifies gains and amplifies losses, so maintain cash reserves, never overextend yourself. This isn't about taking wild risks, it's about taking calculated, intelligent ones where the potential rewards far outweigh the dangers. Think about the long-term impact. The duplex you buy this year could be the debt-free, cash-flowing asset that helps pay for your grandchild's college education. The small business you start with alone could grow into a family enterprise that provides opportunity and financial security for decades.